Top 10 Best Places to Visit in Singapore. At this point, I trust everybody ought to have heard that Singapore was a dull angling town ever. In 1965, Singapore abruptly got itself a free state as it was requested that leave by different states after racial and political strains prompted riots in the between Chinese and Malays. With no characteristic assets and couple of commercial ventures, Singapore went from quality to monetary quality, adding to its port offices, budgetary administrations, IT industry and refineries, building swaths of streets, open lodging and healing facilities. Even still, there are plenty of places to visit in Singapore today. Individuals had now thought that it was difficult to monitor the progression Singapore had, particularly in tourism industry. So Singapore pumped various shots of adrenaline in this industry by having Formula One night race, arts and musical scenes from Universal acts and working on incorporated resorts and clubhouse. Along these lines, be it a stopover or only a getaway, you need to see the main 10 attractions in Singapore. Raffles Hotel. To start off our list of places to visit in Singapore, we look at Pools Hotel, an incredible lodging and a national landmark, was opened in 1887. It is a serene shelter of white veranda-encased, provincial-style structures with terracotta tiled pitched rooftops. The lodging has now obtained an overall notoriety for fine administration and nourishment, with a beguiling mix of traditional design and tropical greenery enclosures. At the back of the building is the Raffles Courtyard, where it serves a menu of Italian dishes in a perfect in the open-air eating space. There are night alternatives in Raffles Hotel. The Jubilee Hall has a wide range of functions and occasions consistently, shopping arcade having bespoke tailors, classical stores, extravagance boutiques and Raffles memorabilia, bars and eateries having beverages and mixed drinks. The Singapore River. The Singapore River is a spot where Singapore advanced history starts. At the point when Sir Stamford Raffles initially arrived at this spot, there were marshes, coulees, throws out and stockrooms. Presently the waterway is lined with verdant walkways, shops and diners. There are stream travels where one can take to appreciate the sights along the bank. Toward the begin of the waterway bank, you can see a high statue of the water-heaving Merlion. This statue remains at a tallness of 8.3 meters and is a tourism symbol of Singapore. It was said that the old Singapore author, Sang Nila Utama, had recognized a lion on the Lion around 14th century. The waterway voyage will wend its approach to Boat Quay and Clark Quay, going under a few authentic scaffolds and will take around 30 minutes. On the off chance that you had decided on a 45 minutes voyage, it will bring you promote down to Robertson Quay. Robertson Quay was loaded with distribution centers in the long time past days. Presently, the stockrooms were changed over to bars and eateries and some are supplanted by extravagance condo. The Singapore Flyer. Opened in 2008, the Singapore Flyer, one of the most popular places to visit in Singapore, is a monster Ferris wheel in Singapore. Remaining at the edge of Marina and a noteworthy stature of 541 feet, you can see the engineering of Marina Bay Sands and astounding perspective of Singapore all through the ride. There are 28 containers and every aerated and cooled case can take up to 28 individuals. The ride takes around 35 minutes and there is editorial on the points of interest all through the ride. There is additionally a 3-story air terminal style working at the base of the wheel, including shopping and eating choices. Marina Bay Sands. Marina Bay Sands ranks among the places to visit in Singapore, is the most costly improvement worked by the American gambling club Resort Goliath, Las Vegas Sands. The resort had turned into a notorious piece of Singapore horizon when it opened in 2010. The Israeli draftsman, Moshe Safdie, had planned this engineering-perfect work of art to look like a surfboard sitting on top of 3 skyscraper lodging structures. This super recreation amusement and cordiality complex components a club, lavish lodgings, tradition offices, top-of-the-line boutiques, theater, dance club, bars and eateries. Nearby the building is the Art Science Museum, and one-of-a-kind white-shaded lotus-formed building, where it houses displays showing craftsmanship, science and media innovation. This building will consolidate into a laser light demonstrate each night. 6. Gardens by the Bay. The Gardens by the Bay ranks among the best places to visit in Singapore. It's a grant-winning green fascination that offers more than 250,000 uncommon plants in a finished patio nurseries and centers. This 100-hectare complex is part into 3 waterfront spaces, in particular Bay South, hothouses and dining in the recreation center. Narrows South, a 16-story tall vertical greenhouse, is intended to gather water, produce sunlight-based power and go about as venting conduits for the recreation center studios. OCBC Skyway is a walkway between 2 supertrees where one can get a 10,000-foot perspective of the patio nurseries and the Marina Bay Range. Nurseries are extraordinary for a night walk where there are tropical trees and blooms. The Cloud Forest has the world's biggest indoor waterfall, and the Flower Dome has plants from the Mediterranean and semi- and subtropical areas. Feasting in the recreation center is a spot where there is an assortment of eating choices. Not just it offers a Mediterranean-impacted, advanced European cooking, it additionally offers an easygoing setting of supertree dining from noodles and fast food choices to Singapore staples. 5. Esplanade Park. The Esplanade Park was a standout amongst not just places to visit in Singapore but also among the most well-known open-air spots for both the European and Asian groups amid the pilgrim time. There is a Tan Kim Seng fountain at the recreation center's northern end where it develops out of appreciation for the altruist who set up the main freshwater supply in Singapore. At the recreation center's southern end, Lim Bo Seng Memorial was worked to devote to the World War II saint who drove the counter-Japanese resistance development, Force 136. In the event that you see 2 enormous, spiked shells complex, this is the Esplanade Theatres on the Bay. This complex is planned by British draftsman Michael Wilford and Singapore DP architects where it is a performing expressions venue which incorporates a show lobby theatre, open-air theatre and in addition exhibition space, a performing expressions library and a shopping centre. (4) Sentosa. Sentosa is situated at the south of Singapore and is the biggest recreational seaward island. The British had utilized the island as an army installation until 1967. Today, Sentosa is a relaxation play area with galleries, authentic sites, amusement parks, nature trails and wearing exercises. Sentosa has magnificent transport system where you can take to achieve the sights you needed to see. Throughout the years, Sentosa has gotten significant facelifts and got to be mass business sector traveler paradise. There is Underwater World where you can stroll through the fish tanks in glass burrows, Resorts World which has an Oceanium, water park, Universal Studios, clubhouse and inns. On the off chance that you are an enterprise seeker, you can go to Siloso Beach where you can experiment with an indoor skydiving wind passage and wave house for a recreated surf experience. (3) Singapore Botanic Garden. In 1822, Sir Stamford Raffles had built up botanic gardens at the base of Government Hill and the gathering was moved to its present site at 1859. Throughout the years, the greenhouses had been broadened and arranged. Today, the Botanic Garden is currently an UNESCO World Heritage and in among the top places to visit in Singapore. The National Orchid Garden is the highlight of the Botanic Garden. It has the most noteworthy presentation of the tropical orchids on the planet. With a cool house for a high elevation of orchids in common settings, it has more than 1,000 species and 2,000 half and halves. The greenery enclosure is prevalent with its local people, who run an excursion and go to the incessant outside shows in Palm Valley. The patio nursery is best investigated in the relative cool morning or at night. Singapore Zoo and River Safari. Path back to 1960s, the British had left a ragbag of family pets when they hauled out of Singapore. The 69 sections of land Singapore Zoo was formally opened in 1973, where it is currently home to more than 300 species, for example, tigers, orangutans, Komodo mythical serpents, brilliant lion and jeopardized species. There is reproducing programs started for imperiled species, which had made some progress. At the passageway, you can observe the creature appears and nourishing times posted with the goal that you can arrange the visit. There is a cable car administration at additional charge where you can take to visit the zoo. Waterway Safari, the main Asia Stream-themed safari park, was opened in 2013. The recreation center is partitioned into various zones: Mississippi, Congo, Nile, Ganges, Murray, Mekong and Yangtze waterways, and one can walk around the recreation center and experience local untamed life to the waterways. The recreation center is home toward the Southeast Asia's biggest panda show, Jaw and Kai, and the world's biggest freshwater aquarium. One can take a ride on the Amazon River Quest and to appreciate the pontoon enterprise that buoys past more than 30 types of creatures, which incorporates mammoth insect-eating animal and panthers. 1. Jurong Bird Park. Jurong Bird Park is the greatest in Asia Pacific and very natural, came first in our list of places to visit in Singapore. This 49 sections of land flying creature park is home to more than 5,000 fowls with 380 species from everywhere throughout the world. The waterfall aviary is the most terrific range in the recreation center, where it is a 5 sections of land woods containing more than 1,500 African winged creatures and has a 100 feet man-made waterfall. On the off chance that you would prefer not to visit the recreation center by foot, you can jump on a cable car to have an outline of the recreation center. On the off chance that you need to spot nearby species, you can go to Southeast Asian Bird Aviary, where it contains more than 260 types of feathered creatures. There is likewise the African Wetlands display, where you can see the African renowned crane. There is Jungle Jewels, where it is a stroll through aviary containing hummingbirds and other South African species.